Brought to you by Joey Janella's Boat Bash. And by Demand Lucha. Welcome to the Clark side of the ring.
We're back here for Clark's Side of the Ring. We're episode 3. This is our second take on it because Vegas got a hold of me and got a little further away. But Mike, we'll get into that because I think right now both of us look pretty tan. A little bit of sunshine did us well. We're looking great there.
Yeah, at least we got good weather here. Sunday it was 87 in Vegas. We got home Monday morning. It was like -6.
It was snowing and blowing when the plane was touching down. I was just heartbroken about it. Before we get too far, though, we did open up the emails in the first episode. We had clarksideofthering at gmail.com, and we've actually got a couple of those, and I think they're going to springboard us into some nice stuff. So shout out to the fat kid. Shout out to Daniel Dart. He sent in the first email for Clark's Side of the Ring, and he says, let me just pull this up. I want to get him word for word. It's the fat kid here. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that. That's what he calls himself. You should hammer these irrelevant hammerheads that felt the need to like and comment on my recent post. I removed the comment to save them all the embarrassment. To think the only time I see these names pop up is when they all want to vague post on the indie board. And more or less what he's talking about, I'm going to show this over to you for the first time here, Mike. This is Davin Christensen having a hard time because Daniel Dart posted our episode.
The funny thing is I had no clue who Davin Christensen was until I asked. It's amazing that I'm a loser. Coming from you, Davin, that really hurts my feelings.
Well, he sold out the rock pile.
When? When did he sell it out? I've seen video. I've been to the rock pile, and if there's 15 people, and how many paid? How many paid? I don't want to give these people any kind of relevance. I don't understand why he calls me a loser. Why? Because I attacked Steve Brown for assaulting a fan on his show? I don't know. No. But that's okay. I can be a loser. Davin, that's no problem because I could really slay you, but you're not worth my time.
Now, I will say about Davin that, he gave me opportunities in the rock pile when, again, you talk about mud shows. I needed mud shows to get those opportunities, those rounds.
But, to turn around and call me a loser.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know me. Well, he made a comment that I went to his show last year uninvited. I went to the show to meet Jeff Black because I hadn't met him to get ring rentals. That's all. But whatever, man. If I'm a loser, that's your opinion, Davin. You're allowed to have it.
And I did really enjoy when they were running Thursday shows because at the time no one else was running Thursdays, and the idea that I could get a weekday booking where very little audience, very little pressure, and I was really allowed to do whatever I wanted on those shows. I was running the dating game or other game show nonsense, and I did have a lot of fun with it. Their last show did look like they had more people in there than they usually do, and it seems like things are growing there. Rockpile is by far the worst venue in Ontario, probably Canada.
Well, no, here's what happened if you want to know the story, and I've got Chad Warhead. Death Proof. He used to pack that place. It would be slam busy in there. And then I don't know, I heard there was something where there was a knife pulled on either Chad or his girlfriend by Davin Christensen.
Okay. Police
were involved, and Davin Christensen started running there and just killed the venue. Well, Chad was running. He had as many people as you could possibly fit in there because Chad does have a decent following. Even when he runs now, all his events are full. And it's Davin Christensen, from what I understand, was a big mark. He would help bring talent in like Necro Butcher. He would bring in Balls Mahoney, help out. That's what I understand. I could have it completely wrong. And then, he wants to pay to play. He wants to book a show so he can referee instead of maybe using his head and said, hey, you know what? Mike Clark's got a ton of shows, and I like refereeing. Let me reach out to Mike. I would have used him. Not anymore, especially now that I'm a loser.
And that is the point. As much I do have affection for the Rock Pile as a venue. Again, it's a terrible place.
It's a dead venue now. You can do a show in there, super show. No one will go. It's got that stigma. It's Rock Pile Wrestling.
Yeah.
It's the scrum bums work that show, and that's a fact. There's guys on his show that don't work any other shows. Okay, and that's it. So I'm a loser. Thanks, Davin. Stay in your 1-bedroom government apartment in Hamilton. You'll be okay.
There were like so few people that really talked poorly about the podcast. You had a reputation and people were willing to jam you online, as it were. But once the actual podcast came out, once people started watching it, it did feel like it changed perception.
I got a whole lot of DMs and people, and even down at, I'll give you an example, at WrestleCon, I was at my booth, I think it was Friday, I was sitting there, and Michael Anthony came up from NCG, introduced himself, a pleasure to meet you. We had like a 10 or 15 minute conversation. What a nice guy. You know, Aaron Sisson reached out to me. Lots of people. They
Great
said,
guy.
hey man, we finally get to hear about you. It's like I said, everything gets taken out of context.
Yeah.
People who like you or dislike you or whatever, they're going to take a text, which Facebook is. It's text messaging.
Yep.
And they're going to put their spin on whatever they want to do. And that's what they're going to do. So, you know what? You can continue to do that. You can call me a loser. You can do whatever I want. And guys like me and you, I'm just going to keep plugging along, doing my thing. You know, I've never said a negative word about Davin Christensen, right? But he wants to do that. That's fine. He's mad because I slammed his show because Steve Brown assaulted the fan. And I'll stand by that. Steve Brown was wrong. If you watch it, him and Tober were wrestling. Something happened. He threw a bottle at the kid. He walked away. The kid hit him with the bottle. And he turned around and came back and assaulted the fan. And that's it. Whether you apologize or not, that's what happened. And now, no harm, no foul. I heard the kid didn't do anything. And, like I said before, Steve's doing a good thing for the younger talent.
Yes.
And that's cool. But like this Davin Christensen, to call me a loser, jeez, okay. Davin, I'm going to lose a ton of sleep tonight over it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you feel that way about me.
And there were only like 2, maybe 3 people that were negative about the podcast once it actually came out. There was, again, a ton of reputation before that, but once people actually saw it, I feel like only 2 or 3 people really had an issue anymore,
because
and none of them keep it professional.
They're inglorious haters. So what do you want me to do? You can't have everybody like you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I think this podcast has shown a different side of me.
For sure.
People can see. And it's like, I want
the side that we love.
I want everyone to do well. I really do. It's the truth. Independent wrestling, like I said, like look at last weekend. The collective had 12 events, and every event was just slam busy. Yeah. I think the Janella show was a busy.
Oh yeah, the biggest one of the year.
But like that show there, I believe they had just over 2,000 tickets pre-sold, and that's, I guess, what the collective passes. And the lineup went from the back all the way out the front door of the casino. Yeah. The walk-ups, like, it was insanity. Like, there had to be well over 3,000 people in the building. And that's for an indie show. Yeah. Then they had the Juggalos on after that. They had
still packed.
I met the guys from Progress in England. GCW, they did a MDK show. They did all kinds of stuff down there. Like, indie wrestling is booming, and it's not because it's WrestleMania weekend and it was like that. It just is. Like, you look around Ontario, most of the promotions, except for probably CWO, are doing very, very well. Promoting, let me give you a hint, Davin. To promote a wrestling show, you don't make up a graphic and just put it on the indie board. The indie board, there's people from all over the world. You have to do paid advertisements, get out on the road and put up flyers, and you too will do well. You got to learn how to promote.
Posters and flyers are crazy important at really getting down to the people.
I just ordered them today for the Dan Lucha show at the Well. We're going to advertise. I ordered 1,000 flyers today. You have to flyer. You're not going to get out there just by putting something on the indie board.
No, for sure. And I would also like to point out that whenever you've had one of your blow-ups with people, previously Matt Grant, Steve Brown, whatever.
What a nice kid this Matt Grant is.
There it is. I love it.
He's a super nice guy.
Yep, really good kid.
Down in Vegas, what do you need? What do you want? He's a great, I never jammed him as a person.
No, that was my point.
I didn't. And we had a long talk. He's a super nice guy, this Matt Grant. What a nice guy. You might see a new Matt Grant working for CCW this year. Something new, something fresh.
Maybe he's even learned something from Mike Clark. Isn't that a turn of events no one saw coming?
Maybe.
The only thing you ever jam people over has been about their professionalism, about their quality as a wrestler, of whether or not you would book them, and it keeps it within that bounds. And then whenever someone starts attacking you, it becomes very personal. They're very full of hatred, and they really get angry about it, but it seems like, where did that come from?
That's fine. They've got nothing better to do. It's like I said, it's like Taylor Swift. The hater's gonna hate. That's it. There's certain people, no matter what I do, they just go off. Like, we put somebody has a page called Mike Clarkside. And
Could be anyone.
Yeah, they posted a couple memes, and then there's a couple of knuckleheads. I'm not even going to give the name. I thought this was all, oh yeah, you're going to say this was you. And no, clearly it was a joke.
Yeah.
You know, but because I'm getting traction, for whatever reason, these people feel the need that they have to, you know, be negative. Yeah. Be negative. I'd hate to be these people that are so negative to someone they've never met.
Yes.
And I wouldn't know these people if they knocked on my front door. I wouldn't know who they were.
Yeah. The idea that page exists, and people are blaming me for it. I want to be clear. It's not me. So, you know, I wouldn't lie about it, but there it is.
I have a feeling I know who it is.
It could be anyone. These are all allegedly. But the idea that this is wrestling, where like people have fake characters, fake lives, fake names, and then once it's online, people go, well, that's got to be Mike Clark. It says it's his name.
It's not, I can assure everyone.
I know it's not you. I'm aware of that. Yeah. But the idea that just like scrambles people's brains is really funny to me, that they can't get the idea.
Yeah, like, you know, they put the Dominic Mysterio up with the mask guys.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, thanks to Mike Clark, CCW, right? All the negativity comes out.
Yeah.
But they see the picture of the 6 or 7, 8 Ontario indie guys that I had a big hand in getting booked on the Sandman match.
Huge.
No positivity.
Yeah.
Good job, Mike. Nothing.
Yeah.
They're just waiting to pound because they have nothing positive to say. It's Mike Clark says, I have my mind made up, and you're allowed to be like that. That's cool. The cost of tea in China doesn't change for me because you like me or not.
Ooh, that was a good way to put that. I like that. It's the first time I've heard that phrase. I like that.
That's the way that it is.
And
you've seen, look, Ricky, I don't need to tell you. You were there firsthand. I know everybody in this business. Everybody. From the veterans to the new guys to the women. Everybody. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, Mike. Well, how come they all like me? And then a few people who have never done anything in this, but they'll claim they've done everything. Mm-hmm. Never spent a penny. Never did anything. You know, and they want to sit and comment. Well, you can comment. That's fine. I'm not slowing down. I'm not going anywhere.
And if you had messaged any of those people for that spot on Joey Janela's Spring Break,
they all would have done it.
Would have jumped on it.
They all would have done it. Yeah. Well, how come these same people who are big, claim to be big shots in the wrestling, how come they weren't in Vegas?
Yeah.
Right? I guess they don't need to network, or, you know, they're too good for it. Or maybe they just don't have any money to go. Maybe that's what it is. See,
Vegas is expensive.
No, and this is another thing, and I'm not trying to put myself over. I booked this about 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to bring it up, and I'm not doing it because I have the Joey Janella Boat Bash, and I said I can do WrestleCon for 4 days, get the word out there with all the fans.
Great sponsor, Joey Janella Boat Bash.
I booked the room. I had a room all by myself, and I told the guys, you come down, you guys can all stay in the room. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's it. Like, I can't be more, you know, helpful to people.
Absolutely.
Like, you guys all, you and Donovan and Bradford all came down. Yeah. We all stayed together, you know. Donovan got a little bit, we got a little touch in on Donovan here and there. But, you know,
he kept scratching his bum.
It was a lot of fun, you know, and I think we had a really good trip.
We had a really good time, and there is nothing that means more to me than money. I am very money focused and oriented, and I went down there with the intention of Mike Clark is paying for my check bag. He wants the podcast equipment. Mike Clark's going to pay for it, and immediately once getting there, it was like, Mike Clark has done so much for me, I wouldn't dare ask for a dime.
But I thought you didn't check a bag.
I checked the bag on the way back, and then Bradford taught me how to sneak stuff across, allegedly, TSA.
Bradford is actually here. He's producing this.
He's the producer of the podcast.
Like, I heard in WWE they actually have producers for matches now, so Bradford, he's producing the podcast.
Come work at the CNE. Bradford's the producer for all your matches. He'll help you put them together. He knows what he's doing. Okay, we got a second email here, clarksideofthering@gmail.com if you want your questions read on air. I have never read this. Neither has Clark. Here we go. This is from Aaron York. Number 1, what's your honest opinion on how Chris Thorne constantly overpushes Jesse Bieber in CWF and never lets him lose the title because Chris Thorne, quote unquote, claims nobody is better than Jesse?
Well, Chris Thorne is also a dear friend of mine. Mm-hmm. He actually left this morning. They're doing just to let people in. So today, when we're filming this, it's April 23rd.
Something like that.
And he left for the Yukon today, and he doesn't get back until the middle of June.
Yeah.
So you got a big, hey, that's Chris's thing. That's his kid, right?
Yeah.
He likes, you know, it's his promotion. And, you know, his son, he knows is going to be there.
Exactly.
You know, he wants to push his son to the moon, let him push his son. I like Jesse. I got no issue with Jesse. You know, I actually think, and I've said this, he's like looks to me like Michael Hayes a little bit. You know?
Okay, yeah, I can see
like
that.
Like a young Michael Hayes. He's built like him. He has like that wrestler's physique from the 70s and 80s. He's in great shape.
Yep.
But he's not jacked. You know, he's in phenomenal shape.
He's been getting more and more jacked. Yeah.
No, I have no issue with it. I mean, that's his promotion. That's like the same thing like saying, well, Channing Decker at Greektown, he flip-flops a belt because he can count on himself to do it. Now, my argument is there's a promotion. I heard it was like an absolute train wreck there last week or something they ran. I don't know, Northern Outlaw or something, I think it's called. And the owner was a guy who trained. He's an older guy, probably like my age, you know. Well, I'm in my mid-50s, but I don't want this guy said, hey, I'm not 55. Well, what older guy never, and now he runs just to, have fun with his friends and put the belt on himself. You're never going to make money like that. You know, like you look at Decker, this guy's jacked to the max. Like, he's another guy. He could be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Yeah. The guy's in phenomenal shape.
It's almost crazy that he's not. Like, genuinely, he's so jacked. And same thing with Jesse, not as jacked, but he has a real character, a real gimmick, a real energy. He comes like really a star.
Good. You know what? You'd have to ask Chris Thorne that. I don't know. Is he a wrestler, this guy?
Aaron York, yes. I believe he backyard wrestles. He's a guy who was kicked out of CWF, as far as I know.
I don't know. But I guess he's got a thing.
Yeah.
For Chris Thorne, right? But hey, man, you know what it is, what it is. Call Chris and see if you can run a program with you. Why, he never dropped the belt, Jesse, there?
I mean, maybe he has. I don't keep track of it as much as he could. Certainly, I never won it against Jesse.
But why would you? You're not better than him.
Come on now. No, we would start the shows with me as the champion, and Jesse would beat me every night because we're doing tour shows. Like, this is
that's kind of like what we do at CNE,
Exactly.
You
yes. It's business.
Many wrestlers and people, hey, who's your champion? I go, I don't have one. What do you mean? I'm gonna make the champion. You know, like the first show I got this year is first date is June 20th, and now I got a double shot that day. And then the 21st, so I'll decide. I don't know who the champion is. Yeah, but he'll go out, and then the babyface wins. Everyone goes home happy, right? Like,
there's no internet rankings on this.
Like I'm not a wrestling promoter. I don't sell tickets, so I'm not a promoter. So, and that's another thing of being a promoter. I can make whoever I want the champion. Like at CNE, I've had it where, for instance, Katrina Creed wins the belt, and at 4 o'clock, I have Zoe Sky go out as a champion. Yeah. Because it's a whole different crowd.
Absolutely. And people aren't paying that much attention, and even if there were, there was another match in Saskatoon in the middle of it, they don't know.
No, well, it's like the whole Jesse Bieber thing. I mean, Thorne knows he can trust him.
Of course.
I know.
And he's good.
He is. Chris puts him, that's his son, and arguably, he's probably one of the best in Ontario. I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler.
Not at all.
He's up there on the list. He's been wrestling his whole life, Jesse.
Yeah. And he's a hidden gem. The fact that he got so good on the tours and then he's not on the local indie scene, when he does show up, he makes a big impact.
A few. I think he does top tier, he does.
Yep.
He does that.
Only the good ones.
He does that one in Saskatchewan, I think, Reaper Wrestling.
That sounds right.
I believe he's on that. And I think he's gone down east a couple of times. But yeah, I mean, look, man, his dad's got enough shows to keep him employed every year.
Absolutely.
He doesn't need to take any indie bookings.
Plus, he's the big baby face, so he goes there. He's selling masks. He's selling T-shirts.
He does a lot of work with TNA when they're here, too.
Yeah.
He actually's produced matches there.
Yeah.
So,
It almost feels like the people who are upset and jealous of the situation, they should be trying to learn something or work with them instead of trying to tear it down.
That's the way it is, buddy. Everybody's jealous. That's all you get.
Well, if we're going to talk about positivity, let's talk about Vegas. We tried to film the episode down there. Obviously, things fell apart.
We did film it. It got edited, but it's just like a complete gong show.
Why do you think it went off the rails? What do you think it was?
Because Bradford and Donovan were there. That's why.
I don't think the problem was Bradford. He's here right now, and everything's okay.
Well, maybe it was Donovan. We had Donovan. We'll probably you can edit it and put a few clips in. Like maybe just clips. But we had Donovan come on with us, and Donovan just all of a sudden became the third man of the play. Yeah, I agree. I go, what are you agreeing for? I'm not even talking to you, but that's Donnie. Great kid. Great. I love Donovan actually made the trip. He's such a knucklehead, this kid, man.
There it is, yes.
He is just a complete knucklehead. How many times did he mention Fonzie?
Every time. Constantly.
What's his name? The Rev?
Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso.
Yeah.
That's all he talked about.
Now, there is something magnetic about Donovan, because I saw Fonzie in the locker room and I said, hello. And Fonzie said, oh, hey, man. Then he saw Donovan and he hugged him and he gave him a kiss on the cheek.
Hey,
and they were best friends like that.
Donovan's one guy. He did a whole lot of shows down there. He's getting booked all over the place. You know, he's really, really good at networking. He's not shy at all.
At all. He's got a superpower that I don't have. When I was in Ontario waiting for the flight, I was getting messages from all the other guys that were already in Vegas going, we were wrong. We love Donovan. Yeah. He made such an impression down there. He did so well. But I think it is helpful to put it on.
Donovan just tries a little too hard.
There it is.
All.
Yeah.
He means well. But
he means very well.
Like, he went out. We were in the room, and, you know, we had been out. We came back, and he says, okay, I'm going to go out. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I forgot what it was for. And I said to these guys, I said, let's see how long it takes him to mention Fonzie. Because that's all he taught. He says, hey, man, I just saw Fonzie. I'm like, of course you did.
Now, one of the first things that happened for us, I got to Vegas and I got just very excited because the glitz and the glamour, it all overcame me. So I was getting a little buzzy and wanted to gamble and get into it. And in that moment, I ran into Donovan. And, hey, Donnie, how you doing? It's great to see you. And he goes, oh, I can't find the key to the room. Okay, we'll leave our keys with somebody else. And then all of a sudden, he was causing some problems in the room with you. And he had people knocking on your door who probably shouldn't have been there.
No, this is what happened. So I had 2 keys. I was supposed to be in there myself. So Donovan had a key, and Brad and Ricky were coming in Thursday night. We got there Wednesday morning. So I locked my key in the room, and I couldn't get a hold of Donovan. So I got the room re-keyed, but I didn't see Donovan. When I went into the room, I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And Donovan, I woke up, and there was some security. Hey, are you okay in here? I said, what's going on over here? So, but everybody got in. I guess she was just concerned he couldn't get in. And, I mean, they would have been sleeping in the hallway had they not had him wake me up. So,
well, we did have another room in there, so we could have figured it out. But the feeling was that you were going to murder Donovan inside of that room. So me and Bradford had to go in there and defuse it. Once we opened the door, there was no violence, but you were jamming Donovan at the time because he woke you up with 6 security guards while you were asleep here.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. But no, everything was fine.
It all worked out. It worked out great.
And it was really late, I think, too, wasn't it?
I don't think we went to sleep before 4 a.m. one time when I was there.
I did.
4 a.m. and then up at 7:30. You were up earlier than everyone.
Like the spring break, the Janella spring break. Like, it was like a 4-hour and 40-minute show. Yep. And normally I would leave, but I felt I owed it to him to stay. Like, that was Friday night. I watched me and Fuego watch the whole thing, and Rob's son Adrian. And the next morning, Janella came down and he goes, did you watch the match? I said, of course I did. Really? I said, yeah. He goes, you hate watching. I said, no, I stayed for you. It was really something. It was a remarkable show, like from top to bottom.
Yes.
It was just incredible. They had everybody. And, you know, to show the amount of support they showed Brody Lee's mom.
Yep.
Like,
really came together as a community.
What's his name? Eric Rowan was there. Powerhouse Hobbs was there. Ricky Saints was there. Mick Foley was there. You know, and a whole bunch of other people, AEW guys and WWE guys. And I'll tell you, Saturday at WrestleCon, me and Janella went over, we were talking with Dennis Rodman and Brody Lee Jr., his younger brother, and Amanda Huber. I said to her, I go, it was really the outpouring that the business showed. I said, I never had the pleasure of meeting your husband, but just by all the people showing up, you could see how well loved he was. Yes. And she showed me that Cody Rhodes wanted to go, but it got kiboshed by the Hall of Fame. And then, but she showed me Cody had a jacket made for Brody Jr. and his brother, and it was like the Cody Rhodes thing, and he put the Toronto Maple Leafs logo inside because they're from Rochester originally. And I knew Brody was a Leafs fan. I said to her, you know what? They're the worst. I love the Leafs too, but man, it sucks being a Leaf fan. It's the worst.
If we're talking about family and community, I do want to get this in here because this meant the world to me.
Yeah,
Mike, I can't thank you enough for getting me on Joey Janela's Spring Break. It was literally the biggest indie show in the world, and the idea that we were a part of it is insanity. And people can try to diminish it and say it was just a ref spot, whatever. I don't care. The idea that we were on that show blew my mind. My uncle lives in the next state over, Arizona, so he stopped by Las Vegas to say hi to me. I don't see him a lot. And then he bought a ticket to the show.
Let me tell the story.
Please.
So he said, I'm going out for lunch with my uncle. And I said, okay. And then all of a sudden he showed up. His dad and stepmom flew from here down to Vegas because they knew what this meant to Ricky. I thought that was awesome. And
Blew my
his
mind.
dad. I met his dad the next day, and I said, man, that's it. Like, he went all the way there just to see his son doing it because I guess Ricky had told. And, you know, to be honest, I didn't
tell him. I told my grandma. I got back to him, and he knew what it meant.
And he came down, and then the funny part, tell him what happened during the show with your dad.
So, we've gone back and watched it. You can see in Sandman's entrance, he's spitting beer. My dad's there in a polo shirt looking like a normal person and going, Jesus, getting covered in beer, which that made me laugh my ass off.
This is a great story.
I get to the back after it, and I've been watching Sandman and Mick Foley in the ring. These are my heroes, and I can't believe I'm a part of this. And I walk back into the GCW locker room. We had been welcomed in by the referee. He said, you guys are part of the show. Get in the locker room. And this is too cinematic. I walk back after the spot, and my dad's standing there. And he goes, hey, man, great spot. I'm so happy for you. And I look at Bradford going, I think the plane crashed because there's no way this is all real. And then I said, Dad, you got to get the hell out of here because I don't want to get in any trouble from Brett Lauderdale for my father being here.
He said that my dad's like a older guy in a polo shirt, and that they probably just thought he was part of the crew.
I mean, honestly, he looked like he worked at the hotel.
I'll be honest, like, the next day we were all talking, and like they were talking all night about this thing. Well, mostly the next day, because right after the show, I went straight to bed. Like, I was out. And the next one, and I actually felt a little overcome at how much this meant for you guys. And I was glad I was able to be a small part of it, you know.
You invited
me. Joey said to me months and months ago, I need a bunch, if you know anybody coming down, I need a bunch of refs for the Sandman match. So I, put the word out, and, Bradford, Ricky, Donovan,
Brad Myers, Jamie Franchuk, Matt Grant.
Brad Myers, Matt Grant, they all said, yeah. Like, I talked to Brad Myers, and I said, hey, you go to Vegas? He goes, yeah. And he goes, Matt Grant had told me the first time I met him, he was going. And I said, hey, get Matt Grant to get a hold of me. I got a spot for him in Vegas. And I said,
see what a good guy he is?
Yeah. And I said, look, I just said the wrestler doesn't work for me. It doesn't, and he knows the way I feel, and it's just, that's my opinion. He's a great kid, though. But,
and man, did he take a great bump as a ref in that match. Wow.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest, Matt. I said, that fucking Saturday, I saw a clip of it. I go, that fucking Matt came out with white shoes. But he didn't wear white shoes. They were black with white soles. So you bit the bullet on this one, Matt. You're lucky. He's lucky.
But a great bump he took, and then right into the camera, looked fantastic on it.
And you guys were all talking about it. I had no idea that this meant, because you guys, look, I'm a wrestling promoter, according to myself. I mean, like I said, many people say I'm not, but, I'm not the biggest fan. I've got like 80. I can't just sit there. Like, other than the CNE where I'm running it, and I'm just sitting there. Like, I can't, I have much better things, in my opinion, to do than watch wrestling shows.
Yeah, it's not for you.
That's why, like, my wrestling is Instagram, basically, I keep up on everything, and it's like, I had no, like, you guys realized how big this was, you know what I mean? And I said, well, then when we got there, me and Fuego walked in, and it was like, man, Rob said, he goes, how is the Fed not getting a hold of Joey?
For sure.
This many people, and like the match he had with Brody Lee, it wasn't like anybody was expecting, because Joey wanted to show the world how he can actually wrestle.
Yeah,
he won, I think, 30 minutes with the kid.
In a phenomenal match.
A phenomenal
He's
match. 14.
He wrestled a 14-year-old, and they crushed it. It was amazing.
No, it was really, really good. But I'm happy that I could make dreams come true.
Honest to God, you did, undeniably.
Kenny Omega's the Rainmaker. I'm the Dream Maker.
There's the trailer. I'll also throw out, like, my family has come to other indie shows in Ontario, and like, they're good, and I'm happy with them. But for those guys, my family, to come to Joey Janella Spring Break, like, there's 3,000 plus people. Everyone's losing their mind. The energy is so high.
It was nuts.
They couldn't deny. They're not wrestling fans, but they go, "This is incredible."
There was no chairs.
Exactly.
There was about 2,000 people standing. Even me, I grabbed a chair from the back. Me and Rob, and I just sat against the wall. Like, it was so hard to see anything, too. Like, it was just a sea of people in there.
Now, if this is pulling the curtain back too far, we can tell me to cut it, but we ran a thing at the CNE before the actual shows began where it was an advertisement. You had me come down, Green Phantom, Nova, Jimmy Hart.
That was 2 years ago. We opened the CNE.
Yes.
We did the official grand opening, yeah.
And when that whole segment got done, you grabbed me and you said, Ricky, I almost got a tear in my eye. This is the vision I've had for years.
So what they did, they had Jimmy Hart come down, and Green Phantom, Ricky, Nova.
What a team. Yep.
That's what it was. And Ricky played the heel and Phantom, and then
all the mascots from all the different Toronto locations were beating me up.
And then Nova held the belt up. They go, put the belt. As soon as she held it up, these big cannons of streamers went off. And
Boom!
Yeah, I went, man, I go, this is really something.
Yeah.
This is really, really something, you know.
And I need you to know that you gave me that same moment back with my family in Las Vegas and Joey Janela's. It genuinely meant the world to me. And I did introduce my dad and my stepmother to you, and you really could have jammed me in that moment, but you looked at my dad and you said you should be very proud of your son.
Yeah, you should be.
It meant the world to me, Mike. It genuinely did.
There was a lot of and there was a lot of other workers down there.
Yep.
You know, and whatever. I reached out. I think Jimmy Townsend, Benito, I think Kingsley, I think they all did the clusterfuck match the next night. And I saw they were on a bunch of shows. But I don't know. I'm assuming all the guys got shows. I don't know. And then we saw Dynasty there on Saturday. And, got a little contentious a little bit, but everything's fine. And then, they were texting me at midnight, hey, can you get us a booking on the clusterfuck show? 4 hours ago, you wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But I like Mikey and Corey.
I like Mikey and Corey. I got no problem with those guys. I appreciated that Mikey was willing to come up to you because, again, any of this reputation nonsense from online, the idea that people can have a conversation.
They work for me, Mikey and Corey. They're hot because I don't like Derek. And, look, and I've said it about Sway Archer. Sway Archer, he's a tall, handsome kid, made no effort, never went to a gym. Rob Blake will tell you, he looks exactly the same now as he did 12 years ago when he walked in the squared circle. Makes amazing gear.
Yeah.
He makes gear for the WWE talent. Stick to that. You're still in the business, you know? But as far as the wrestling, I just don't see it. Nice, super nice guy. It's just, I hammered them one night and then, they all got mad because Derek on the indie board a few months ago, I went on one night, I said, who's a draw? And some girl said, Derek Smith. I said, no, he's absolutely not a draw. Well, she kept baiting me, and she said, Derek Smith, and I said, I saw it was, I think, Michelle Smith. And I go, are you his sister? LOL, he's the worst wrestler I've ever seen. Because they kept prodding. And then Mikey goes, well, it's his mom. I go, well, what's his mom? And then Derek puts a thing up because he got me, you're talking to my family. This is as low as it gets. No, Derek, no. Your mom, who I found out, got into the chat. And why is this mom on the indie board? Well, she supports him. He's another guy. He's a superstar for Davin Christensen. He's on all the CWO shows, And then Corey and Mikey said, well, we tell him he's got to work on his character and go to the gym. I said, hey, man, he's been at this a lot longer than you have. I'm not saying Derek's a bad human being either, but there's just certain people. It doesn't matter how much they train or where they train. They just don't got it.
Now, it seems like you made peace with Dynasty, but it did feel like me and Bradford, we might have gotten into a little bit of hot water with those guys because there was a graphic produced for episode 3, Truth Lies and Mike Clark's Guys.
Well, it was funny because
of course it was funny. It's not even the name of the episode.
And I saw Mikey's comment. He tagged you and Bradford in it, and I could see him staring right at the camera. And
he saw the camera, he acknowledged that a photo was taken, and then we tagged him in the post.
I don't know. It was just fun.
Yes.
There's nothing to take personal over it. I love Mikey and Corey. I think they're really good.
Yeah.
Mikey's a great guy, comes out with all the energy. Yep. And Corey's like the powerhouse of the team. I like them.
And I'm hoping what they were
don't work for me.
I'm hoping what they were posting was just other wrestling nonsense and trying to get something stirred up. Because me and Bradford versus Dynasty, I see a lot of potential in there. So let's get it on the CNE.
And then there was another one where you could see me at the booth and they were standing there and it said Dynasty sitting under the learning tree. It's just a lot of fun. We had a little talk. I think everything's cool.
We're just dicking around here.
I like Mikey and Corey.
Absolutely. All right. So Joey Janela's spring break was definitely the highlight for the trip to Vegas. Anything else from the trip to Vegas that you really want to get in there? You want people to know about?
No, I don't. Just the cost. It's
brutal.
It's horrendous. Just getting fleeced $9 for a bottle of water.
So speaking of getting fleeced, the first morning we woke up, you said we're going to Guy Fieri's breakfast spot. All you can eat.
$19.99 all you can eat brunch. However, you got to pay $6 for toast. You got to pay for jam. You got to pay for peanut butter. $8, but at least the coffee's bottomless, right?
$7, but it's bottomless. Whatever. I only went in for coffee. Bradford can at least eat 3 dozen eggs sitting still, so he was able to get his money worth. I don't have a big enough stomach, surprisingly, and I couldn't justify all the food. Now I will say we gave cash to Donovan, but he put it on his Visa card, so it got translated into Canadian. Do you want to guess what that meal was for the 4 of us? That all you can eat brunch?
In Canadian?
Yeah.
Can you tell me 170 or something?
192. 192. So that's about $50 per breakfast.
The first day when I went in there, I saw all the wrestlers when I see Warlord. Dear friend of mine, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey.
And he gets 3 full breakfasts and 2 orders of French toast.
And there's a guy who can justify having the all-you-can-eat brunch. Him and Bradford made sense, but yeah.
No, it was nuts. Like, it's just everything. The add-ons with everything. Like, even they're playing these games where they have all-inclusive, no resort fee. But there's all kinds of hidden fees in there.
Yeah.
You can only go here at this time. You can only do this,
So I found the $3 hot dogs.
Across the street. There's
amazing.
I forget the name of it, but it's a very famous place. It's been there forever. And you can get like a beer and a hot dog for $5.
It was great.
So they were going across and getting hot dogs and stuff. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys had a lot more free time than me. I was down there to do the boat cruise, right?
Yeah. We were exploring Vegas, and we were trying to do it cheap, but being in a dive bar in Vegas, that was maybe one of my favorite parts as well. That was a real highlight for me.
The street.
It was perfect.
We went to In-N-Out Burger at the Link Promenade a couple of times.
In-N-Out was a great meal. I went there a few times.
I got me and Donovan arrived, and Sam Laterna from MLP fame, the announcer, she arrived.
Chocolate-covered cherries, how do you describe herself?
40 minutes before us, and she had a rental, so she came and picked me up, and Donovan went to the hotel, and then there was another guy. I think his name was Jordan. He's one of the backseat boys, tag team. So I think his name Jordan, Ryan, and Sam. We went to way off the strip to Raising Cane's Chicken. It's the best. They don't have them here. It's literally the best chicken you'll ever eat. And we went there Wednesday for lunch. But I mean, it's just brutal. Like, for working people, they priced blue collar people right out of it. Everybody thinks I got tons of money. I don't, but like, even if, like, my friend went down there with his wife a few months ago. They stayed at the Bellagio. She got 2 bottles of water. It was $42.
Brutal.
Like, that's ridiculous. You just kill it. You want to charge $3-4, okay? Like, I think it was Friday. You guys went somewhere, and after the convention, I went down out the front. They had that Dave's Hot Chicken. Mm-hmm. Great deal, I thought. You got 2 sliders. So the sliders, like 2 big chicken fingers, sandwiches, some coleslaw and fries, and a drink, $16.95. The bottle of water was the small one, $5. Yeah. Right? But that was like fairly reasonable. Like, even the food court downstairs, $9 for a slice of pizza, and it's this big,
Now, the best meal that we had there, by far, $50, all you can eat prime rib. That was unbelievable,
and who
Mike.
paid that bill?
That was you, absolutely, because
I'm a great guy.
That as well. Bradford was able to eat 6 full prime rib dinners. You made the bet.
Insanity.
Insanity. Though the bartender's eyes were popping on it. It was genuinely one of the most delicious meals I had. And food is oftentimes about the company that you're with. And the idea I was in between you and Bradford as we were just putting back prime rib after prime rib.
I have?
Unbelievable.
2. I think I only had 2. I found it. I don't know. What did you say it was? Salt crusted?
Salt crusted.
Prime rib? I didn't like it. It was too salty. The meat was fabulous, but I just found it overpowering. And Bradford's putting more salt on it.
That was another thing Bradford taught me over the trip. I would wake up and be a little bit groggy from the sun, from the lack of water, and he would stick a salt packet in my mouth. And I swear to God, every single time, it brought me back to life.
Really?
It's phenomenal. It's a miracle drug that no one talks about. But yeah, just little packets of salt from Wendy's, cock them back, and it brings you right back to life. With water as well, if you can afford it. So we would buy jugs of coffee from Walgreens. We would drink that instead of paying the overpriced coffee, then fill that up in the gym downstairs with water. We made it a very cost-efficient trip. We were very proud of ourselves.
Yeah, I know it can be. It's just, I was working all the time, and where else did we? I got a Subway, an $18 Subway.
Brutal.
Sandwich.
6-inch cold cut. Brutal.
No, it was 12 inch. But yeah, it wasn't the best sandwich, and I kind of like Subway, but just everything. It's not like it was 15 years ago. Like, even last year when we went, I had an Airbnb, and Fuego had the truck, so we would go to WrestleCon and go back, right? You could get everything off property.
Yeah.
Like a Big Mac combo on the strip, I think it's like $24.99 American. It's crazy.
No, it was brutal in that sense. Did you get the chance to go to Fremont Street at all during this trip?
No.
It's my first time in Vegas, so we made a point of going down there. That place was a riot. We saw micro wrestling.
But did you guys really walk back the whole way?
We walked the whole way from Fremont back to Bally's, formerly Bally's, now the Horseshoe. We like to heel toe the whole thing. We like to walk around, and I saw everything because we were walking around.
I've been up to Fremont because of Cauliflower Alley Club's at the Plaza, the hotel right at the end.
I didn't know that.
And we used to go there, and I had the room right across from Jimmy Hart, and we're both on Eastern time, so we're up at 4:30 every morning. We get up, and Jimmy was there, and he scoped it all a couple years ago. So we get up and we go to Binion's for breakfast in the back at 5 a.m. You know, and then we go. We go to the Cauliflower Alley at night, but we don't eat that food, and we go over to Tony Roma's, which unfortunately is closing. I heard May 1st. I think it's the last one.
I was told that it was a phenomenal deal, and I should have made my way there, but I didn't.
But it's only certain hours. I think it's between like 4 and 6 and 9 and 11 p.m. You get the prime rib and a lobster tail, right, for, I don't know, $12.95 or something.
Amazing deal.
The steak's a little bit shoe leatherish, you know, but hey.
But you get what you pay for. Come on, we're in Vegas here.
But down there on Fremont, it's a completely different animal. You can get all kinds of deals and steals. And there's a place I told you, had we gone past the Link Hotel, there's that Monte Carlo, I think it's called. They have all the cheap stuff in there, too, the $2.50 hot dogs and all that, right?
Did you do any gambling when we were down there?
A little bit.
Did you make out all right or down? What do you think?
No, down a little bit.
Yeah. At one point, you woke up in the middle of the night and you saw me sitting there and go, Ricky, what are you doing up? And I said, I don't know. I can't sleep. I'm wired. He goes, all right, well, let's go downstairs. And we ended up doing a lap of the casino floor, playing a little roulette. And that is like one of my favorite memories now. Just me and you kind of dicking around in the casino. You playing roulette.
It can get very dangerous very quick in Las Vegas if you're gambling. So
the first couple hours there, it was like the sounds, the glitz, the glitter, the slot machines, they were really calling to me. It was a weird feeling. I was getting pulled into those things, and I did end up putting more money into the machines that I would have liked to. I ended up winning like $60, and I was happy with that. But good. And I'm paying for the entertainment of being down there as well, so it's all part of it. Where do you think this trip ranks on your Vegas trips for your whole life? Is this up there? Is this down there?
It
would
definitely be up there. I mean, I've been down. I couldn't even tell you, to be honest, how many times I've been there.
Yeah,
dozens and dozens of times. Yeah, it was good because it was with you guys. We had a laugh, right? Like, and I also said, like, I had booked it for myself. And I said, thank God somebody came down. You know, like, it's a, you know, what am I going to do? Just sit in my room, you know?
Yeah. And even the option of having Matt Grant sit at the boat booth, the idea of me and my dad were running the boat booth for a little bit. Lonely Matt. And you were able to take a little bit of a break for the few moments that you did.
Yeah, like even the Lonely Matt post. No, hey, man, get a hobby. Hey, man,
You notice Matt Grant didn't get upset about that?
And it's a laugh.
He thought it was funny.
It's only fun. This is pro wrestling.
Yes.
Pull the pipe out of the back. You know, you don't need, this is wrestling. You can't have any fun. Like, man, oh man, people are so sensitive.
So sensitive. And Matt Grant's not. He got the joke immediately. And also, what are we making fun of? That he's in Vegas working a booth at WrestleCon? Oh no, aren't we being so mean to him? Like, I don't know. That all seemed crazy.
That's just the way it is. But yeah, it was really good. So next year, it's tentatively in Saudi Arabia, although who knows. But I also heard that they might, if it's not, they're going back there again.
And I would be pretty excited about it.
They get paid big money from the state. Like, I know they announced New Orleans, but what happened? Vegas just made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Exactly.
You know? Like, they don't pay for any of the rooms. Like, I saw a thing about the Super Bowl, too. That's why the Super Bowl's only in select cities, because you have to be able to have this many executive suites, and you got to be able to give them this, you got to be able... And not every city can do that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the same as the Olympics.
You hear of Louisville, Kentucky, and Louisville, Kentucky's a shotgun town. You know, they don't have all of that stuff, right? Like, I heard now that the mayor of Cleveland or some reached out to Nick Khan, but I don't think Cleveland, Ohio has the accessibility for what they need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, Vegas is, it's a one-stop place. And you know what? If it's there again next year, it's the wrestling fans. I mean, there's lots to do there. Like Rob Fuego, he went to see Wizard of Oz at the Sphere on Monday.
Super cool. I wanted to do that. That's super cool.
He went over there to the Sphere, and they went. What else they do? They went to that WWE Wrestle World thing, whatever it was called, right? WrestleCon.
Wizard Oz in the Sphere is like the only thing in Vegas that I would have done. The price was too much.
It was really good because I met Brett Lauderdale down there. He couldn't have been nicer. He gave me 4 all-access VIP passes for the shows. So I just gave them to Adrian and Rob, right? I didn't need one.
Yeah.
Right? I always had one on me, but I got to know the guys right away there. But you know what? It was a really, really fun time. It's just the fleecing I didn't like. But other than that, and I mean, Sunday we found out the pool was open. It said it was closed. And we were 87 degrees. We sat out at the pool for an hour or so before it closed.
So this is like, I am not a vacation guy. I'm so glad you brought this up. I've never been on a vacation in my life without attached to a job. And we were sitting by the pool under a palm tree in the Las Vegas desert with the heat. I took a little bit of a nap, and I woke up and looked at Bradford and said, yeah, buddy, I can get used to this. We should do this again. I've never had that instinct in my life, but the idea of sitting by the pool, it was amazing.
If it's next year there, and I've got a reason, because I got to have a reason to go.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to go.
Oh, come on, Clark. We're the reason.
You know, we can get a nice Airbnb or even stay there. But
I love the Horseshoe.
We gotta go out like to a Walmart or something and get a lot of food for us to eat.
Which was my plan, never ended up happening. Survived on hot dogs, but made it work. If WrestleMania is taking place in Saudi Arabia next year, there's no way they're doing WrestleCon there as well. No. So do you think the Boat Bash takes over?
I think the Boat Bash is going to be a huge success. For sure. Anyway, I mean, and there's going to be, I'm just waiting. There's some massive names that I think I've been able to finagle for this thing.
And your ability to talk to those people and get those contracts signed, to watch you do it was like watching Picasso paint. It was incredible.
Thank you. But no, I think that's why I timed the Boat Bash. They actually wanted to do it this year at the end of the year, and I said, no. Mania's in thing. Let's try it.
It's a brilliant mind there.
The week before, right? Like February 28th to March 7th. I mean, and it's pretty much like a spring break deal, right? So, you know, it's from L.A. to L.A., 3 ports of call, Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta, and it's going to be like, I don't think people understand like the amount of fun. There's going to be a lot of interaction with the wrestlers on this, and it's going to be, you know, we're going to be doing karaoke and all kinds of games and, you know, laser tag, and, you know, there's going to be prizes and all kinds of stuff.
And me and Bradford are booked, right?
That's what you say.
Come on. All right. Do you want to give us a heads up of the names that are booked that you can announce?
Well, Joey Janella, obviously.
Big one.
Gringo Loco.
Amazing.
Alex Price and Jordan Oliver.
Heck yeah.
PCO.
Come on now.
Gangrel.
Big names.
$1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Huge.
Jenny Santana.
Right on.
Sam Laterna. Who am I missing? Effie. Effie will be
very
there.
Cool.
And, you know, I met Effie briefly at a demand show a couple of years ago. This guy is one of the most intelligent, like probably people I've met. What a wonderful guy this guy was. Yeah. So it was funny. We were in a hallway between WrestleCon and the Collective, and I saw him and a couple other wrestlers, and Jimmy Lloyd was standing there, and we were talking about something. He says, you know, 3 things. He goes, I'm always on time, always do that, and I don't give the promoter a hard time. I go, so unlike him then. And Jimmy Lloyd goes, hey, what are you talking about? I was only kidding. Yeah. But Effie's on it too, as far as I know, and we'll see. But there's some big announcements coming up.
Absolutely.
I don't want to. I could, but I want it 100% confirmed, because there's one name on there. I think if this goes through, everyone's going to be mesmerized. Like, wow, we got XYZ for the Vogue Crew.
And we don't need to say anything. Here's something I will say. Again, because of your graciousness, we were able to get into WrestleCon. So we ended up back at the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. It's like 4 a.m. We're in a hotel ballroom filled with people. And in the ring is Rob Van Dam. He's against Kenta and the Good Brothers. And it's like a fever dream even being a part of it.
It was a show.
Unbelievable.
He had Nick Nemeth on it.
Dressed up like a Juggalo.
Matt Riddle on it. They had all the big names on this Juggalo show, but it went until 4 o'clock in the morning or something.
Can I tell you the biggest mistake I made while I was in Vegas? We were walking into that show, and 2 people were walking past us. They're holding up one of those big slushy drinks, and he goes, hey, man, I can't finish this. You want it? And I went, yep, grabbed it and started drinking it. And I was about halfway done that thing before I thought,
Well, they're mixed. They're already pre-mixed.
Sure.
They're strong, man.
But I'm saying it's some guy giving it to me. It could have been anything in there. The only reason that I felt comfortable doing it was because Bradford was next to me, and if anything happened to me, he's not drinking. So, like, he was going to take care of. I don't drink all that much either, but we were in Vegas, we were partying.
I didn't drink too much down there. You know,
now, I
tried to behave myself.
That thing did taste like cough syrup a little bit. It was totally safe, but the fact that it was a couple, it was wrestling fans, it was fine.
If you, like years ago, like even like if you were at Bally's at the pool and you ordered it, they always had these deals where you could buy the cup, like at Mandalay Bay, for it's a big clear cup that lit up like the lights would go on. Was $20, and the refills were $14. But the cup is that big, and they put about at least half of its alcohol.
It was a lot of liquor in that cup.
Man, they don't mess around with the booze.
The sugar messed me up more than the booze. I want to believe in that drink.
I don't
honestly,
drink anything like that.
It was a wild time. Again, it's not what I typically do, but it hit me like a slug. So.
Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this?
Well, I wanted to know, the people in Vegas were so nice to me. Everyone seemed like so friendly and pleasant. I didn't know, was that because it was all wrestling fans, or was that because it was Vegas? Like, what's your experience?
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? It seemed like a good trip. There was no, arguing or nothing. I made a little thing with Mikey and them, but
that was nothing. More just jamming a Donovan.
Yeah, no, we just had fun. I mean, everybody was there, and I think 99% of the people are there for the same reason. They're networking. They're trying to get seen. They're trying to get booked, right? And I handed out a bunch of my business cards to a lot of young indie talent. I said, hey, man, I got this thing in the summertime. They all seem interested. So I met, for the first time, I met the bunny, Cherry Bomb down there. She saw Rob because Rob was one of her trainers.
Yeah.
Christy Hemme was right beside me all week. And I met her in New York a month ago, another one that Rob used to book up here. So I talked to Thing, and I met a whole bunch of new talent, So let's see what happens. I mean, maybe the CNE, I think it's going to be more international than ever this summer. So,
The only thing I want to throw out here, quick summary of the...
and we had on Friday, Luigi Primo was at the booth. Luigi Primo called me. I said, come down, you can work the booth. So he was selling gimmicks and flipping pizzas over there.
We had everybody and everyone.
Great guy. He's coming to CNE too this year.
The old quick summary here of the entire week. People will never believe this, but Mike Clark made dreams come true across Ontario. Mike Clark got Matt Grant booked in Las Vegas, and Ryan Donovan won the heart of everyone around him. Now, it's not because he's such an amazingly great guy and brilliant. It's because he's a bit of a knucklehead, but he loves this stuff so much. He works so hard, and everyone has to respect that. He's a great guy.
And he just came back and he had to have surgery, I heard yesterday.
A little bit of a surgery for Donnie, but we're going to pull through. He's going to be back on it. He's going to be full Donovan. Right now, he's about half Donovan.
You know what? Fuck it. So I'm in the room one day and I see him picking his ass. I didn't say it.
Quit picking your bum.
And then he did it again. I go, what are you picking your ass? He goes, it's sore. I got a hemorrhoid. So he had to come back and they had to electrocute it out of him. So he had a surgery, but he's okay,
If we're just going deep on it, we're in the airport, and for 3 days he's been talking about this hemorrhoid, and he goes, for medical purposes, Ricky, can I show you a photo? And I said, Donnie, if you're about to show me your asshole, you absolutely cannot. And he goes, well, how did you know it was going to be that? It was because you've been talking about a hemorrhoid for 3 days, buddy. I can imagine. Again, we missed an episode because we were in Vegas. We're going to be back in it stronger than ever here on Clark's Side of the Ring. Anything else we need to cover, or would we do it?
I think we need more questions. We need more questions. The haters, the lovers, the likers, the in-betweeners. Call Clark's Side of the Ring at gmail.com. Myself and Ricky will be there to answer your questions. As long as they're not, too overly personal. We want to try and keep this as PG as possible.
Don't talk about my kids. Clark's Side of the Ring at gmail.com.
Before we had, I just got reminded of something. So we were leaving Sunday night, and Rob Fuego was leaving Monday night. So I said, hey, give me your keys so I can put my stuff in
Hey, give me your pants.
So we're there, and Bradford goes, hey, look at those Zubaz. So I put on the Zubaz. And we took pictures. There's one on the
Put that photo up now.
And we were wearing them. I was wearing them everywhere. When I got back, he goes, what are you wearing Ava's pajamas for? I go, hey, man, they're great. He goes, they're my daughter's pajamas you're wearing. But they were Zubat. Just a funny story, Now,
let's get full into this. Eventually, Donovan ended up with those pants on. He also ended up with Crocs on that also weren't his.
I got so mad.
You start just losing it on him.
Because it's not, like Rob trusted me in that room,
yeah.
Right?
But
it's all Bradford's prodding. Anyway.
I mean, it's Donnie wearing the pants and the Crocs. What was Donovan's response to you saying, you got Rob's pants on?
Bradford put them on me. How did Bradford put the pants on? And the funny thing was, he was lying about 10 minutes beside me before I even noticed it.
My favorite part of that interaction was you are screaming as mad as I've ever seen you at Bradford, at Donovan, at myself, because we're in the way. And midway, you're wearing his pants, you're wearing his shoes. And a smile just creeps across your face, and you start laughing. And goes, all right, that is pretty funny.
No, I get like that. Like, it was a lot, man. It's a lot of hours, and, you're down there, and you're just missing home. And, you got a 5.5-hour red-eye flight getting back, and you got to drive an hour and a half to get home. So, but no, it was a good trip. I'm glad I had great people with me. I couldn't ask for a better crew.
Come on. Thank you so much, Mike. All right, I think we covered it. Thank you so much, everyone.